Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Abomination Goddess podcast, where we sit down once a week and delve into the mysteries of intuition, offer space to explore the knowing within you, and to help you lift the veil so that you can see more of the real world around you. Before I make introductions, I just wanted to share I was listening to an Abraham Hicks video on YouTube, and she was talking about that game that you play when you're little, and you're like, if you were stranded on an island and you could only take one thing, what would you take? And so, like, and if you go around and hear what people say, she said the biggest takeaway is that everyone's different, and so you want as many different people with you on the island. And I was like, oh, that's like our podcast. Like, we interview all these really cool people. Everyone has new, fresh perspectives, and our island, Earth, is better with all of our friends. So I just had to share that real quick. It made me think of the podcast. Okay. With me, as always, is Casie Halseth. She is the author of Abomination Born book series. It is a fictional portrayal of her real life experiences with the mystical realms. Her action packed books are full of lessons, insights, and calls for other Abomination Born folks around the world to start connecting, which is what we do in our podcast. And I will say, I keep saying this, book one is like a portal into the world, and then book two is like when shit hits you and it gets real, and it has a lot of really good lessons. So I totally recommend her series. She is an award-winning public speaker, and I think that you'll find by watching this podcast and reading her books that she just effortlessly draws her audience into her world, both in her books and on the stage. Welcome, Casie.
Thank you.
Hey. Oh, and I am Ashley Kim. I am the author of Villainera Goddess. It is a book that I wrote to help women on their journey to set boundaries, build confidence, and heal themselves. It is a very honest and open look at what I went through and the tools that I used to survive my villain era. I went through my journey alone, and I wrote this book so you wouldn't have to go it alone. I will be riding the crazy roller coaster with you. And I actually got my book back out because the shadow part of this Mercury retrograde kicked my butt, and the butts of everybody around me. And so, yeah, I was like, wow, spiraling out. So, anyway, it's very good on how to stay positive and how to deal with those very unexpected curveballs. Speaking of curveballs, our returning guest today is Rachel Williams. She is from Designed Resilience. Rachel's website and YouTube channel provides ways, means, and like real methodologies to help you be your most resilient self when life throws those inevitable curveballs. She is a breath of fresh air and provides advice that we all need when it comes to digging ourselves out of the dark pits of despair and crawling towards the sunlight. And let me tell you, her YouTube videos are saving me right now. And I think, Rachel, you say this, they're simple, easy ways. And sometimes the YouTube videos, like you watch them and you're like, well, yeah, I knew that, but you don't. Like when you're in the thick of it, you don't. And so when I say your YouTube videos are saving me, I'm like, yes, that's what I needed to hear. You had one that was like, make your doctor's appointments, like just make them. And I was like, yes, okay, I do need to.
Well, thank you. I was so glad they're helpful. And I think it was very important to me as I kind of built out these conversations that I really do want them to be daily things. And so making your doctor's appointments is something you might do annually, but it takes a few minutes. So I'm so glad that they're helpful and it's not just me proselytizing in a way that's
Right.
ineffective.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so we'll do show and tell, but then I want to get like deep dive into your YouTube channel and just everything about it. It is so good. Okay, so we start off with show and tell. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right. I think I have all of ours in here. Okay. Let's see. Rachel, do you want to go first?
I'd be happy to.
Awesome. Okay. Do you want me to start, or where do you want me to start? Sorry, I was
That's
gonna.
perfect. Yep, you can start with St. Joseph.
Okay, I was gonna be bossy, and then I was like, oh, I'll put my mask down. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
So, my husband and I moved to Colorado from Texas in March of last year, and we listed our house in Texas for sale, expecting it. I mean, the market was kind of nuts. We expected it to sell maybe 90 days, 120 days, something like that. It was on the market for a year. And so as I was connecting with my friends, they were, of course, wishing me well and assuring me the pictures looked great, the listing was great, it would sell. And I had one friend, so I wasn't raised Catholic. I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church, and she was like, "I'm going to get you a St. Joseph." So she
Like,
did. And so it comes with a little card. It has a prayer on the front and then instructions on the back that you bury St. Joseph in your yard. You pray a 9-day novena, which I don't know what that is, but a Catholic person probably would. And then after your house sales, you dig it up and you display it in your new house. And so we weren't in Texas for me to bury this in the yard of Texas, but I think St. Joseph had a significant help in getting our Texas house to sell after being on the market for a year. So
yeah,
support your friends
I've
with
heard of
saints.
this. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of this.
That's really
And even
great.
like on TikTok, people be like, what's the one tip you want everyone to know? People mention this all the time.
Oh,
So I think
funny.
this is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's so
works.
cool. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
it.
awesome. I was super grateful. I had it on our little my nightstand by my bed and went to talk to St. Joseph every day. And now the
Yeah.
house is sold.
Nice. Thank you, St. Joseph.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Thanks.
Awesome. Okay. Quote or card?
Cool, it's fine.
Okay.
So this one made me happy because it resonated with me for a couple of reasons. First is just the platitude, right? If you're looking at the sun, you're looking up, you're looking forward, you're looking in the light, and you're not seeing the darkness. So that's basic. The second, I feel like if you are putting your face towards the sun, then you're always moving because the sun's always moving. We just went through the time change, so you're seeing, the different extension of the day and all of that. So I like that kind of constant and slow seasonal motion forward. I like that. And then the funny
Mhm.
one was so, like I mentioned, I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church, and we always got dolled up for Easter, which is approaching soon. And my parents, we'd always get together with our extended family, cousins, and everything, and they would always make us take a picture outside the church in our Easter clothes, and we would always be facing the sun. And so all our pictures look like our mom would let us close our eyes, and she'd be like, "Okay, when I say three, open your eyes, smile for the picture because it's blinding sun." And so we have all these Easter pictures where all our, because we're kids, we didn't have sunglasses or anything, so or we wouldn't have been
Oh,
allowed
yeah.
Easter picture. But yeah, so I like this quote today because it's inspiring, it helps you
Funny.
motivate, and then also it's just a hilarious memory from my
Yeah.
childhood.
I love this so much.
Thank you.
Oh, all those memories. I just love it when they pop up like that.
Yeah.
And
Awesome. Okay.
then I pulled a card for today, and the Queen of Pentacles flew out, and I feel like I'm very much kind of that year of transition, moving to a new state, waiting for everything to settle, all of that. We have been very mindful. We've always had enough, and certainly wasn't a scarcity situation, but we just had to be really diligent about using our resources well. And I feel like with the recent sale of the home and being able to move a little more freely, I'm feeling this energy. So
Yeah.
I hope that it resonates with
Yeah.
y'all too. I hope that y'all are feeling abundance and material things being where you need them to be and how you need them to be. But yeah, this was the card that flew out at me today.
I love it.
I love that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. I also am in love with the chair with the
Queen of
throne.
Pentacles. Yes.
Yeah. That is so cool.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Okay.
Yay. Okay. Was that all you had?
Yep, that was it.
Okay. I don't know why I thought there's. Okay. Casey, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
Let's
see.
see. How about the yellow one, kind of the quote? Yeah,
Yep.
that one. I got this from Casie Metaphysic Fair. I think that's, or no, Art for Breakfast. I got this for Art for Breakfast. There it is. Yeah. If the gift of art is in your hands, it's not random. Paint, write, sketch, create. Even if the world doesn't clap, your soul will. Isn't that
Woo!
beautiful? That's by
Yes.
J.S. Kennedy Writes.
Awesome.
I love
I
that.
love that. Anything to encourage us.
Yes. Yeah. I saw one that said something like the best time to create art is when you don't feel like you want to. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's such a good
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah. It's a good reminder. Yes. And then let's go to the next one, the picture of the lady.
The close-up lady or the
Yeah. the close-up lady, yeah.
Okay.
That is Marie Callas. She is a famous opera singer. I just absolutely love to listen to her music. She says, "Your acts of kindness are iridescent wings of divine love, which linger and continue to uplift others long after your sharing." Isn't that
I
beautiful?
love that. Yes, that
And
is
she is
beautiful.
such a wonderful soul. I don't think she's still alive. Maybe she is, but oh, the music that her voice is absolutely stunning.
I love it. That is a good quote.
Mhm.
And that is
Alrighty.
from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Healing Wall, the Healing
Okay.
Wall. And then I've got another one, the tree looking lady. Yeah, that one. Uh-huh. And this is from Mystic 37. If you can overthink the worst, why can't you overthink the best?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to that pronoia,
Mm-hmm.
which is the world, the universe is acting in your favor, whereas paranoia is where you think the world is acting against you. So
Yes.
pronoia is
Oh, the
why
one
not?
thing I'm working on.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
should
I
say.
have a rule about this, as you can, out of every 3 times you think about a thing, twice you can worry, and once you have to imagine it working out.
yeah,
So that way you
Oh,
can still worry. Like you can still have your
yeah,
crash out. But
yeah.
1 out of every 3 times you have to, what would it be like if it worked out?
Yeah. I love that so
yeah,
much.
yeah. I do too. That's very good.
It's a good rule.
And then the last one is I have that one, yeah. And this is from Grover Cleveland. Cleve is his nickname, Baxter. And this is the man. I was working at a restaurant. My sister got me this job in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, on that square, the square with all the antlers.
Yep.
And it was the open range restaurant. And she got me in because I was just staying with her for a couple of months. It was so nice of her to put me up. And this man was one of the guys that I was a waitress to. He was sitting there with I believe it was his wife. And you know how I've talked about how that mist comes over me? I have
Mm-hmm.
this kind of green mist that comes over me when I know something is, I'm supposed to pay attention or I'm going to be shown something. Anyway, I met this man. I was his waitress, and I didn't really meet him, but all of a sudden he starts telling me about how he puts the electrodes on plants and how they can talk and how the topic came up because I had a tray full of live lobsters. And, you know, the lobster, he said that the lobsters are talking to you and they know that they're going to be put in that pot and they know they're going to be boiling. And, but because I had that green mist around me, I didn't say anything. I listened. I listened to what he had to say. And it turns out not only he was doing this in the 1960s, not only did he used his lie detector equipment on the plants, but not only did he discover that when he would say something to the plants, it could change their what would happen. Like if he said, "I'm going to cut your leaf off," "I'm going to just cut it in half," it would just go crazy on the screen, on his lie detector screen. But he found that if he just thought it and didn't actually say it, and he could be in the other room, it would do that. And then he found out that the same plant, it didn't matter what the distance was. He could be in California and the plant was in Colorado. It would do it if he thought something.
Wow. That is
Incredible.
like mind
And
blowing.
then and at the time, when he was talking to me, it was so cute to see him because, he was unmistakable. He had that crew cut haircut, like he's with the CIA, so he had a military looking haircut. And here he is talking about these things in my world,
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
this.
it was a moment. You know how you have these moments you never forget.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Anyway, he wrote a book called Primary Perception, and I was going to go buy it on Amazon the other day because I thought, well, I'll get his book. Uh, It's $130 on Amazon. I'm not gonna buy the
Wow.
book. So maybe if it's meant for me to read his book, it'll show up at some junk shop somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It'll get into your path eventually.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. I wonder if it's just not published actively anymore.
right, right.
Yeah. That is cool. That is so cool. You got to meet him too.
Yeah, not really meet him, but got to see him. Yeah, I was his
Yeah.
waitress, and a
Oh,
poor
yeah.
one at that. I was just an apprentice.
I've never had a job as a waitress, and I know that I should not. Like I know that is a limitation for me.
You'd make a good bartender, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
that you'd be
I
good
do
at
a great
that.
job
Yeah.
chatting with people. I was putting something in a cup, but who knows what they would get.
You just work at a
Well,
wine bar or a brewery. That way it's not
Yeah, there you
mixed.
go. Yeah.
the
You
only
want white
reason
or
I
red?
got
What do
the
you want?
job was because of Margie. Margie was working there. That was the only reason I got the job. It was a four-star restaurant, so I mean, I didn't know anything.
Yeah, that's how I would have been too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is such a cool story. Okay, let's see, where do I want to start? Oh, I'll start with this random photo. So I got permission to completely redo our kitchen, because I want it to just be only plants in there. Well, I mean, besides like kitchen stuff like a stove and sink and dishwasher. Anyway, and so I have my first two shelves up, even though I did not even paint the wall. I was going to paint the wall first, so I was like, yeah, screw it. Anyway, so I'm going to have shelves of things, plants that I'm starting with my grow lights. And then we'll continue. So one of the things I like to do, and I know that this makes me like the weird person in the friend group, is that when I harvest my herbs, I put them in big bunches and I hang them from the ceiling in the kitchen so that I can see them. Because first of all, for the first week, it smells amazing while they're drying. But then I don't know, I like them. I want them in my kitchen surrounding me. And so now I will have one wall that's all plants growing, herbs and vegetables and whatever I want to put in there. And then I will also eventually have my dried herbs hanging, and I will have the kitchen that you see in Pinterest that's all plants. And so I have my first two shelves up. Very excited. The top shelf is just cuttings from a plant and then a picture my daughter painted in art class. I was like, oh, I know where to put that until I can replace it with my plants. So anyway, I just had to show. It's not very pretty right now. I don't care. I'm excited to have the dirt and the plants in my kitchen. So
Ah, it's
just
so wonderful.
thank you. So excited.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, I don't decorate a lot with like artwork unless somebody made it and I know who made it, then I will hang it up. But I do decorate with plants and anything weird I can find.
And now
That's when
they're talking to you all the time and
yes,
they hear
yeah,
your thoughts.
they hear, yeah, so they're probably like, get a grip.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We'll all be on my journey of self-discovery and mental health.
You're just alchemizing your stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, next. I saw this and it's from You Asked, but it's a picture that says it costs $0 to act unhinged, and I do love a bargain. And this just spoke to me on every level, so I had to share that one.
That is
Uh,
good. That is really good.
I loved it.
That's a good excuse. I'll use that.
It's free. Um, then I had to share this. So Mercury retrograde ended March 20th. And then it was a few years ago when I learned about like the shadow period after Mercury retrograde and how it can actually be worse than actually going through Mercury retrograde. So that's like all of the things are like coming up, coming up, coming up. And if you don't deal with things, then it's a huge explosion and you're forced to deal with things and then you go on your merry way. And so I could not figure out what was going on. I had people calling me and all these things, and I was kind of cracking up because it was to the point of I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, some people did some things that did not align with my values, and I told my kids like, well, that doesn't align with what like we do, like that's not safe, blah 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 blah. Left it at that. Yeah, 3 years. So 3 years later, it flies back in my face of that I'm like there's like this community of people who hate me. And yeah, anyway, I laughed about it because to me it was kind of funny because I was like, if everything was published in the paper, I would still look better. I would still look fine, like because it was based on values and ethics, not based on like me just being mean. Anyway, but it was a few things like that that kind of popped up for me that were really weird, and for me, it felt like from nowhere. And so then, yeah, and then I was thinking this morning, I'm like, did that end yet? When does that go on? And then when I looked at the dates, I was like, got it. Yep, that's what I just went through. But one of the things about this, I'm proud of my daughter. She started a new school, so she was getting bullied really badly. Started a new school, made new friends, but did all of that during Mercury retrograde. So I'm like, dang girl, like you're pretty badass. You got through all of that without upsetting anybody or no one upsetting you. So I was pretty proud of her. We got through it.
That's
Everyone got through it.
very good.
Yay.
Yeah.
And that's that second, that spiral going up. The same problems will happen. Sometimes, like let's say it's at the 1 o'clock position, but when you go all the way around and come back to the 1 o'clock, it looks like you went a couple circles around before it showed itself again.
Yes, I know. And I'm thinking, is this thing like, so for my biggest blow up that I had, how is it going to show itself again if it does? Like that is my question, Casey.
You may
It's
not even
very,
notice it because you'll be on such a higher level. You're
yeah,
like,
I'm hoping so.
like,
Yeah.
huh, hmm,
Right. Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry that you
they did
feel,
that? Really? Oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's yeah, maybe I'm part way there because that was most of my reaction is I literally just busted out laughing and was
Yay.
like, well, that's their journey,
Yeah.
not mine. I don't want to be a part of it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, last one. This is on TikTok, and this is called the kindness mob. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, so what
Oh.
these guys do, there are content creators out there who are very sweet, special people, and they get bullied nonstop. So, for example, one of them, it was a lady that one of her eyes just goes off to the side. That's it. And she's posting recipes to help because she's lost like over 200 pounds, and she's posting ways to like keep your family happy while you're eating healthy. But all of the comments are making fun of her. And so they get, so somebody nominated her. And so then these guys, and they do it kind of in a way where like the creator they're helping doesn't even know. Anyway, so these guys go and then they nominate somebody for the kindness mob, and they put the photo or the video up, and then you go to that person's account, and then you just like heart it, comment something positive on there. Oh my gosh, it was the best thing ever. So I went and looked back at a few of the people they do that with, and the comments are just amazing. And I'm like, oh, this just helps my heart. Like I notice in digital marketing, in the world of digital marketing and in social media, and I do a lot of like community management and things like that. The world really is like, does feel like it's getting nastier and nastier. And I know 60% are just bots that are nasty to get, rage bait going. Um, but still, it feels overwhelming. And that's one of the things I even like help with my clients and stuff is like, no, people are just angry. No, it's just a bot. Like, don't worry about it. But anyway, these guys are combating it and it's free. All you got to do is follow them and then see who they're talking about, go leave a nice comment and you're done. And that helps lift somebody up. So I was very excited for this. The kindness
Yeah, it's
mob.
wonderful.
Love
It's
it.
Yeah,
so
it's like
nice.
anti, yeah, it's like whatever the reverse of bullying is.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I do too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was all I had. Very random today. Awesome. Okay. So now I was going to put Rachel in the hot seat. Um, so for those who haven't listened in the past, do you just want to tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel? You have a YouTube channel, you have a website, you post a lot on LinkedIn. Where else and yeah, so maybe just tell us about everything, where else you're posting so people can follow you. But yeah, just kind of give us an overview, if that's
For
okay.
sure. So Designed Resilience exists on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. There's a website, designedresilience.com. And yeah, LinkedIn has its own like business page. And so the concept came because I had been on kind of like an almost vertical trajectory in my career and was super career identified and driven. At this time, I was the vice president of client services. I was in my early 40s, so that felt like a big deal. I was running 3 teams, marketing, sales, and client success, and was really striving to make that successful. Lots of money, like things were going super well. On December 12th, my boss and the HR manager walked into my office while I was still wearing my Santa sweatshirt from the holiday party at the company. Like, I'd hosted the luncheon, and no prior workup to this, I was released from my position. And so I I was like, okay, well, Chris, my husband and I, Chris, have a trip planned on New Year's. I've never been unemployed for more than 2 weeks. So I'll just, the rest of December I'll take off. We'll go on our trip, and then I'll come back and hit the ground running. I was unemployed for 6 months, which just gutted my identity. And so I had engaged an executive coach before this happened, because my kind of growth path was like I needed more executive presence. And so I was working with someone, and luckily the engagement that I paid for carried on through this time. And she said, for someone who was so anchored to their professional success, who kind of abandoned, like, stuff would get crazy at work and I would stop eating, I would stop sleeping. Like, I might pick up cigarettes again because I smoked in college, like, just abandoned myself. And she was like, for someone who does that, you're handling this really well. Can you think about why? And so I went away and I was like, okay. And so it started kind of the 5 areas that I built design resilience around kind of started surfacing. So the first one is a positive self-concept. So it's not even like self-worth or self-esteem. It's just the belief that you can navigate whatever hits you, because you have 100% success rate. So how do we feel about foul language in this conversation?
Oh, well, I support it 100%.
Okay.
And
So, like,
Casey, that's fine.
every shitty day, every shitty thing that you've gone through, you're still breathing. So you have a 100% success rate of surviving all of the bad. So that's anchoring belief one, positive self-concept. The second thing that helped us is financial stability. So it's not wealth, it's not, anything crazy. It is, we had an emergency fund that helped pay my salary out of a savings account for the time that I was not working. That helped us breathe. And then we also knew how to budget. So we knew how to plan. The third is physical well-being. Couldn't abandon my body anymore. I had to get back in. My body is not just a machine that carries my brain around. It is an important part of me. So I had to remember to take care of that and listen to it. And when I started to panic and spiral, ask it questions. What are we doing? Anchoring there.
Yeah.
Community was the fourth pillar. And that was, I couldn't hermit away from my friends and my family, even though I didn't have anything to tell them, because we didn't do anything. I wasn't making money. I didn't have a job. I was just me. And one of the things I loved about that is I realized nobody ever says, man, I love Rachel. She has a job.
Yes.
Nobody ever says that. They like me for other things. And then the fifth was personal growth and development, because as I kept reading and listening to podcasts and trying to get myself in a better position on so many levels, it gave me confidence that I could actually still do stuff, even if nobody was paying me to do stuff. So those were the kind of 5 things I brought back to my coach. And I was like, if I look at each of these every single day in some way, and that's what my YouTube channel has become, is I pick one of the 5 and I talk about one thing that you can do. So, like, I did for the physical well-being, I did like the 4 phases of a shower. Like, they're depending on your level of depression.
Yeah.
You can get in. Level 1 is just the parts that fold over each other. So that's you get in, you get wet and soak on the parts that fold over each other. That's level 1. Level 2 is washing like your whole body with soap. Level 3 is washing your hair and your body. And level 4 is shaving and washing and doing the mask and all of the things. And any one of those count as a shower. So shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how
I
it
love
got
that.
here and what
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
I love that though, because there is somebody who's watching, who's
Yeah,
thinking,
we have
I can,
those weeks.
yeah, I can wash the folds. I can at least do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and good job. If that's what you did, good job. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just thinking like even new mom life, like having newborns, it would be like, you know what? Just let me be over here stinky.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do kind of start prioritizing like, okay, I got 10 minutes before I'm going to have a panic attack of whatever. So I'm going to get in that shower and yeah, I'm only going to do these things and I'm hopping right back out. No, I love this. Yeah. Like it makes me giggle as
Yeah.
you go through it, but
Yeah.
I'm also like,
Yeah.
no, this is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And so this started with your coach and
Mhm.
her saying, "Yeah, how are you as amazing as you are today? Write that out for me." And
Mhm.
then yeah, you did that and oh, I love this. Like what a great way to reframe kind of even what you were going through. And um yeah, I would say, do you think women in their 40s, whether it's from a career change crisis kind of a thing, but I feel like we all kind of get to a point where we're like, oh, I'm not my job. Or oh, I'm not my kids. Like, oh, like who am I?
Who am I then?
Yeah, who am I? Because I've always had these other identities based on what was like successfully presenting at the time. And then now it's like, oh damn, especially in perimenopause, I'm like, I just kind of want to be a hot mess on the couch. Like I don't I don't care.
Yes, I absolutely have felt transitions. I mean, the timing was aligned with my 40s, so it probably would have happened even if my particular professional situation hadn't happened. But yes, the finding out who I am. I can remember when I was starting to re-identify myself because like work wasn't an option. I didn't really know what like self-love and self-acceptance meant.
Yeah.
So I started looking at bathrobes and I was like, women who love themselves have nice bathrobes. So I should probably get a bathrobe and then I will put it on and I will feel love and acceptance for myself because, I'm also a super logical, like,
Yeah.
clear person. And so, yeah, I think there are these breaks with the accommodation that you might have given because you felt like the power resided with someone else. So I for sure did. I was like, the person who writes my paycheck is the one who gets to determine which parts of me are valuable.
Right.
And that is such bullshit.
Right.
Like, not at all true. But, and I think that's one of the things I think that's beautiful about some of the generations after us is that that cycle of learning this is happening so much faster.
Oh
And the
yeah.
world's going to have to adjust to not because I think you, millennials specifically um, came into whatever environment, whether they came as a homemaker and a mother or as a professional or however path they did, they were like, I have to prove myself. And so all kinds of parts of the world benefited from our selfless sacrifice and our kind of amazing badassery. Like the combination of the
Right.
two, like we were solid good. We learned to overcome so many, and that's another thing that's happening for me in my 40s is the identification of my neurodivergence
Mm.
and
Yeah.
the understanding that um when I get mad at my car's air conditioner because it's blowing directly on my face and I'm overstimulated, that's neurodiversity. Like, but also I had to turn it on full blast because I was having my own personal summer. So I needed the air conditioning, but then it's too much. Like, and all of that is okay. And I don't have to pretend like everything's fine and fine and I'm not having a panic attack inside drive. It's fine. Like, no, it's not
Right.
fine. I need a minute.
Yes. Yeah. Two things. Neurodivergence and breezes blowing. Like, what is that?
Instant
Yes.
I
rage.
I
So
will
mad.
Yes.
fight somebody if there's a breeze on me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's something for that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I like that too. What you're talking about, realizing where the power lies,
Mhm.
huge. And yeah, that was kind of my thing too. And I, spent my career like being the rock star of like, give it to Ashley, whatever, blah, 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 blah. and then hit a phase where I'm like where I am now, like before we started the podcast, I'm like, by the way, I can't talk today. I can barely read. Like my brain's gone. And then I get into a meeting feeling like the dumbest person in the room. And then I realize I'm actually functioning at kind of a normal level now. Like I'm not the overachiever. I'm more of like the normal person in the room, which still makes me pretty good.
Yes.
And but I've had to accept that about myself of I'm not going to be the person that like recognizes all the patterns and does all the things and remembers everyone's birthdays and who has a doctor's appointment. What I just don't do that anymore. Like it's gone. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting to navigate of like accepting that that's my performance level now, but I'm actually not bad at what I'm doing. I'm just not what I where I was, and then kind of celebrate it. I'm like, okay, well that means my brain gets a break. Like I'm watching other people spin out in meetings, like trying to be the perfect person. I'm like, I don't know, I don't have to anymore. Like you're gonna pay me the same when I walk out of this, whether I crash out, spin my wheels, or if I just remain calm and have a conversation. So that's where we're
Yes.
at.
For me, so it stemmed through lots of therapy work and all the things. So that hypervigilance and the ability to react to it came from an unstable home environment in my childhood. The predicting 8 steps ahead, which is that's another thing that make like irrationally angry is the people who can't
Yes.
think of like the spider web potential of the decision that you're about to make and all the people who might be affected and how you're gonna like just keep it all in the air. There are people who like physically can't do that. Well, I do that all the time. And the the constant pressure on myself to not be heavy to carry, to not be a hindrance because I'm capable. I can handle it. You might be, overwhelmed in a public, and I might be overwhelmed too, but I can mask it. And I'm a badass.
Mhm.
And what I realized that was doing, it served me really well for a long time. It helped me a lot for a long time. What it's doing now is stealing my joy because
Yeah.
instead of being present and soaking up the goodness or the crazy that's in any given situation. And Chris and I talked about this actually not too long ago because so we had only one car for a year. We bought a second car. I was driving it and we were in an area that was really crowded and I wasn't super familiar. So I start to panic because I like, if I mess this up, it's our new to us car, all these things. And then I was like, but we're going to dinner on a date. I don't want to be like all uptight. And so I'm like, hey, of course he can see right through it, right? I'm like super uptight, but everything's fine. And I'm like really making sure that nobody's crossing the road in front of me. But like, and so we were talking about it when we got to the restaurant, and he was like, yeah, you just kind of like whoop right out of your body. You're not even there. You're doing whatever you do.
Mhm.
And so that to your point about it's not worth the effort necessarily anymore to exude it, I'm not even actually performing as well as I think I am when
Mm.
I do that.
Oh,
I'm
I
good.
see. Yeah.
I'm better
Yeah.
than most,
Right.
but I'm the ones I love that I'm close to who know me. They're like, nah, she's gone.
Yeah.
Now
Chris is
she's
like,
John Brad
babe,
John
we've been
Bradshaw
married
used to
forever.
call that. Remember John Bradshaw? He used to call that the human doing rather
yes.
than the human being. And so you
Mhm.
go from being this human doing, where you go into all this fixing this and doing this and taking care of everything, and then the other is to be the human being.
Yeah.
I love that. And who is that again? Who said that?
John Bradshaw.
John Bradshaw. Yeah, I love that. That is so true.
And he also said that everything came from your childhood. You know, if you were the first
And it
child, the
does.
second child, the third child, he would tell you what you what kind of messed up person you are just by the order that you were born.
Oh, yeah. Everything is from childhood. Yeah. My mom used to be a mother baby nurse, and she said that she could tell when the moms, after they had their babies, she could tell when trauma occurred in their lives based on how they acted while the nurse was taking care of them after they had a baby, because they
Oh,
acted a very specific age while they were getting
oh,
cared for. But yeah, it
Yeah.
literally, it's all childhood, all of it. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what keeps
Well,
me up at
it
night.
was years before I realized that nobody else was going to turn the light switch on when I walked in the room. Because, if you're the youngest of a bunch of kids,
Mhm.
the older kids do that. They turn the lights on for you. You
Yeah.
don't do that. There's so many things you don't do, and it's just got taken out of me. You know, it
Yeah.
just got taken. It was, and my husband was older in the family, so he has no problem with taking over and doing things. And because I was younger, yeah, go ahead, do it. I let him do it because I'm comfortable with. That's how I was. I was in that position where the older kids did everything,
Yep.
and I didn't.
I love that. With our 6-year-old, we're getting into that a little bit because she's obviously the youngest. But she'll be sitting on the couch. She's like, I'm thirsty. And I'll be
Yeah,
like, yeah, you are. What would you do? And she's like, well, I need water. Okay.
yeah,
What would you do to get it? And like she's like literally like, oh, well, usually I just
really,
have people who do it for me. It's
exactly.
like
Yes,
it's kind of fun to watch it because
yeah.
you forget
Birth
they're not
order.
thinking the same
No,
adult things you're thinking.
no.
Like, oh yeah, I really do have to teach
It's
you. You
it's
have to get
almost
up.
shocking.
Yes.
I even as old as I am, I still will have that moment where I'll walk into the room and no one else turned on the lights. Like, what? And I was, oh,
You need to name that. So like, where is my Melissa?
yeah,
Where's my Melissa who turns on the
that's that
things?
inner child
Melissa,
work. So I have to
Yes.
be good to her.
Yes.
It's
that is
okay.
so funny.
Nobody's here to turn it on for you. You can do it.
You can do it on
It's
your
just
own.
a quick thing.
I do the same thing, Casey. Yeah, I'm the youngest of my sister and I, but then when my mom got remarried, I was kind of in the middle, but still like in the mix of things. But yeah, I'm the same way. And then my husband's a middle kid, but he's very like go, 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 taking care of everything, like 4 steps ahead of me. If we're leaving to go somewhere, he's already prepped everything, done everything. And yeah, and so he's on vacation. And I get up in the morning, I'm like, well, no one's done everything. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do I do? Yeah,
yeah.
it was good for me to I went on a vacation, my daughter and I, and usually my husband does everything. He's like, okay, you got to leave at this time. Here's your vehicle. You're going to go do this. We're going to eat here, like all this. And I was like, oh, I got to plan that. Like, oh, shoot. What do we want to eat? Like, where do we want to go? But yeah, it was very good for me to not be the young one anymore. I was the mom doing all this stuff. But yeah, that's hilarious.
That's awesome. I wonder, do you guys think that because that's reception, right? Like you're
Mhm.
receiving the giving and the care of other people. That is a part of feminine nature that I have to consciously work on because I'm firstborn and you
I
know,
suspected so.
all right, it's all over me. And both my parents worked. So like we started driving at 15, because we got a hardship license so that I could take us to our things. Like we, definitely latchkey kids.
Mhm.
I can remember I talked to my mom's secretary at work, like asking if I could speak to Mrs. Poust, like, just like very separate from us as kids. And so I have to consciously accept help and support or having things done. And it's beautiful. Like Chris actually just planned a getaway for us this weekend and he did everything. He booked the Airbnb. He's got all like he knows where the grocery store is that we're gonna get like, and I am ecstatic.
That's
We're also gonna get see Highland cows because I'm just
oh,
overwhelmed. It's a working farm that we're gonna stay in their like guest house and they have Highland cows.
oh, that's
I'm very
cool.
excited about that.
Awesome.
But first of all, recognizing that was something that would be wonderful to me and verbally saying that to Chris is like it would be amazing if you could plan because I've done all of our probably not true to say all but most of our trips I've booked the flights I've done the points I've gotten the transportation I've done all of it because I can do it it's another thing I can do it
Right.
Hmm.
so I don't need to ask I can do it and then him taking the action of doing it and then me just being like oh my god it's amazing Like,
You're like, is this how other people are living?
right? No, the coming back to the middle from either extreme, I think is such an interesting journey of satisfaction. Like you said, like it was good for me to plan where we were going to eat on our trip because I don't normally do that. And I liked it. I love that I don't even know the address of the place we're going. Chris has already mapped it. Like he knows how we're going. And I'm just like, oh, it is so amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I
Yeah.
love this. Yeah. That is so funny. And you know, the flip side of me being the other person who's always just riding along, like whatever, it was kind of a confidence boost that I didn't know I needed. Of like, I used to be a single mom. I mean, we would go on road trips to go do whatever. And it's like, I don't even know who that person is anymore. And so that's what I was doing. I was a single mom road tripping with my daughter, and like we did everything. And it was kind of like, oh, that's right. I am so freaking capable. Like I almost forgot. So yeah, it was a
Yeah,
good
that's
thing.
exactly what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm ready to let Sony do everything again, but it was it was nice.
Yeah, just we put our toes out. We don't have to embody this whole other identity.
One of the
Oh, I
things I
love it.
learned years ago from John Bradshaw was that during the times that you're going through these different phases, so like if the little toddler in me kind of pops up and wants to be, so I would choose a food that would satisfy the toddler, like the licky kind of food or something like that. And if it was a rebellious teenager, then I would choose something that the teenager in me would like, French fries, something like that. And I found that when I would choose according to what I felt, what age group was coming up,
Mhm.
trying to run things for me, because it's nothing worse than having a 2-year-old try to run things, that just doesn't work. But I found that when I would consciously stop and think, well, what would they want to eat? And then try to give it to them, just the thought of that would shut that down and help me to be okay with it. And I would talk to myself, it's okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, one of the practices that I have taken in my different therapy journeys is parts work. So that's like I'm not sure clinical is right, but like those part and like looking at her, and I've got a like a 3-year-old princess who loves big
Ah,
frilly things, and I've got an angsty teenager who is like, oh my God, you are so like, annoying, and and I've got the
yes,
22-year-old
yes,
old young professional who is, of course we can do everything, and
yes, yes,
getting to know them, getting to understand what they're protecting me from, what they're hurt, what they're yearning for. The food is a cool thing. I've never done that before. It's mostly been like conversation. But yeah, has been super effective because the idea is that the core of me is all the good things. Love and
Mhm.
compassion and acceptance and forgiveness and hope and joy. And anything that is like kind of split off from that is a part of me that got disconnected from that at a certain time in my life. And they're anchored there. Kind of like
yeah,
addicts stop emotionally developing when
yes,
their addiction starts. So,
yes,
like, my first marriage was to a man who was an alcoholic, and he'd started drinking when he was like 14. And so, anytime he would get sober, his emotional capability was a 14-year-old, which
yeah,
was super
Tough.
difficult to deal
Yeah.
with because you're his partner. I was trying to enjoy the sobriety part, I was trying to make this like the good thing that I could anchor to when it was inevitably going to go to shit again. um but I was also dealing with at the time like a 32-year-old 14-year-old.
yep,
And
That's
he
a
was
tough
not
one.
talking to his parts. He was not talking to his parts or feeding them. He was not.
Or yeah, nothing. I like both of those. One of the things I struggle with, and for me, like connecting with the inner child or whatever, it's stopping my brain from moving fast enough where I can go back and be like, okay, wait, what was that? Like, like, because Casey, you were talking about the food, and I was like, well, how would I even know like what age I was dealing with? And then that kind of got me thinking. But I think for me, it's more in my head. I picture the 3-year-old, or I picture the 6-year-old or whatever. And so, yeah, I'm going to start doing the food thing and the talking too, because what I've been doing, and I feel like I need to like expand on it, is recognizing them and like holding them. But dang it, giving a snack or like talking to them, like I need to be doing more. I love this.
You know, all of these parts of us are in us. And what I write about in my stories, I have a broom, and this broom is me way in the future. And this broom, this me in the future has come back and is guiding me,
That's
Miss
cool.
Broom.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So all of us, every bit of me is in me,
Hmm.
including the super future. And
Yeah.
she's here. So as sometimes Miss Broom uh could she's way in the future, but she could have some play, a little bit of play, so the little ones toddler and me could come out a little bit for her.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I really like that. I don't know, that reminded me. I another thing I've been doing that's very weird and everyone looks at me like I'm weird, so it's fine. But thinking about things as like multiple realities or multiple timelines. And
Mhm.
so if Ashley right here is having a hard day, I'll tap into the other Ashley who's actually having a good day and like steal her joy
Yes.
and borrow it. And like kind of do it that way of like it's teamwork. We can do it together. But that's been helping me. And it's like one of those things my husband and I, whenever we try like supplements and stuff, because we're always trying like whatever. If we have a good day and we're like, is that placebo effect? We're like, I don't care. I'll pay
Yeah,
$30 more
right.
for this jar for that placebo effect.
Yeah,
And so
yes.
that's kind of like how I'm treating my Ashley timeline hack is like, oh, hey, I'm going to use your joy and I'm going to take it until I
Yeah.
get through this.
So we watched Marvel movies. We're both like, I would say DC, like Wonder Woman is my preferred superhero, but that's DC and they're kind of dark. So I like the Marvel, at least current iterations. And this concept of the multiverse exists in Marvel
Hmm.
movies, that every decision is a break-off point in a timeline. So that the one that you walk is the world that you go to, but there is all the different things, if you got like a yogurt parfait for breakfast instead of like eggs Benedict, that's a split. And the day that the person who had the eggs Benedict has is different than. So yeah, 100%. I think you can, and that's the positive visualization, right? Like that's it's the body doesn't know the difference between a daydream and an actual experience if you allow it to take you over. So yeah, totally believe in all that.
I love that.
And there's
Yeah.
that part of us that is experiencing all of those different worlds at once. And
Hmm.
that's when you're connected to the web. It's you fall into the tendrils themselves, and all of the experiences of every thought you have and everything you do is happening at once in all these different realms. And there you are experiencing all at once,
Hmm.
having
I
a
need to do
full day and you haven't even left the couch.
that. Ready for a nap. Yeah. I need to try that. I've been practicing with the web. Well, no, actually, I haven't for like probably a month, but I need to get back into practicing with that. So, and I'm sorry, we have gotten way off top. Well, actually, no, it's all on topic. But before we go, I wanted to ask you, Rachel, on YouTube,
Yes.
what name like some of the top videos for someone who's just getting introduced to you? Because I know you also interview authors, like you interview other publics, like you interview a ton of people too. Um,
Mhm.
so maybe some of like your top videos, and it doesn't have to be like the exact titles, like obviously that would be hard to like remember the title of every single one, but any interviews you've done or any videos you've created where people are like, man, that's the one, like that helped me. Just to kind of help people get in there with you and start discovering you more.
Yeah. So the first thing I did, because there is kind of a variety of content on my channel, is I made playlists. So just general commentary or interviews are in kind of like the Design Your Resilience playlist. So that's off to the side. And then each pillar, positive self-concept, financial stability, physical well-being, community, and personal growth and development all have their own playlist.
Cool.
So
Okay.
I would say, I would not try to build new habits in all five at one time. If you have one that's super strong, like your friend group is solid and supporting you, don't even pay attention to the community videos. Hop into financial stability, or if you love them and hate yourself, hang out in positive self-concept that way. I would say the most popular videos from like an analytics perspective have been around financial stability.
Mhm.
And the kind of arc of our story from that is when Chris and I got married, we were $72,000 in debt, making as a household $55,000. And when we started a Dave Ramsey class, which I just say find a financial teacher. Dave Ramsey is the one we happen to follow, but find the one that resonates with you. They all have different values to add. We did the process and we got a path and we started to see a light at the end of the tunnel and we worked and we have come completely consumer debt free. The only debt we have is a mortgage and
Mhm.
emergency fund and like all those things from 2019 to now. So like we paid off the debt in 2 years, 2017 to 2019. From there, we've been building.
Mhm.
So those are probably the most popular. But yeah, just use a playlist and kind of anchor it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when
I
you
like
say
that.
that, do you mean you go to your website and it's on that's
Yep.
where you'll find it is on the website?
Yes. The
I see.
designedresilience.com connects to everything. The playlists are organized on YouTube, but you can get to the YouTube from the website. And all the handles for everything are designed resilience.
Mhm. Yeah. So
I'm kind
good.
of low tech. So if I go to the website, I
Uh-huh.
will find those different categories on the
Yep.
website and I can click on that then.
They're all stored in the blog. So if you go www.designedresilience.com and then go to the blog, they're all in there.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
For
Yeah.
us low tech
Yay.
people.
Yeah.
My goal is to be low tech someday. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. This was a really fun conversation. I loved this. I thought it was
Yeah, you're
perfect.
doing a wonderful job helping so many people. I mean,
Thank you.
Mhm.
it's really necessary.
It
Thank
is,
you.
yeah.
It
Especially right now.
validates the journey. I went through it not to keep it to myself, but to hopefully give a little hope to somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that that honesty and openness is what so many women need right now. Like it is so
yeah,
necessary. A
you
lot of
bet.
people feel like they're on their island with their one item all by themselves, and they don't realize that they could be, on an island with other people who are going to be honest about stuff instead of trying to hide it and instead of trying to look perfect all the time. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's what we all need.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. Yay. Awesome. Okay. So designedresilience.com
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then Designed Resilience on YouTube. And then you are on social media. And then you said Apple Podcasts.
Mhm.
And I forgot the rest. Sorry.
Oh, that's it. LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, the website, and YouTube. That's everywhere.
Okay. Awesome. Yay. Thank you for coming, Rachel. We
Hey,
love
thank you.
you.
Yes,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure.
Yay. All right. I'm going to stop the recording. If I can figure it out, everything moved. So, okay.